My
How
love.
can you hear me? In fact, is this
Yo,
okay?
I can hear you good. How can you hear me?
Yeah, it's okay.
Awesome.
Let's check the sound
What's up to the
on
chat
this.
room? Anybody in the chat?
Let's check it. Let's check it. Um, um, um. Hope my cats will. Yeah, it's okay.
Good. Good.
Hello, everybody.
Hey,
We
what's
had
going
a
on?
yeah, we had a discussion yesterday about the stones. So me and Richard wanted to continue the stone topic, but we have it on some different side. So, Richard, what is your point? What cannot you find in your country?
Well, I was doing some research, and and I always got mud flood, in the back of my mind, because it's terrifying, and interesting at the same time. Um, I was like, well, if I was looking for evidence, more evidence of a mud flood, of a cataclysm. So I started looking at graveyards, and it's kind of weird. I was like, well, if there is evidence of ancients and all of these ancient buildings that were here, all these ancient maps, all this architecture, all of these stories, then we should be able to see all the dead people, right? And if we don't see, because we already hypothesize and figure out that it happened sometime between either the 1600s and somewhere in the 1700s, somewhere around there. That's what I'm thinking. Okay, from the research that I've done, this major one. Yes, there's been other ones after that, but this is the major one I'm talking about. This worldwide one, and in the so-called 1600s. So there should be evidence of graveyards, burial grounds. And when I was looking and I was finding, it was real weird. I was like, wow, I can't believe I'm having a hard time finding these burial tombstones. So you're trying to tell me that these ancients are so advanced, they built all this advanced architecture, but they didn't have no tombstones? They wasn't buried taking care of their dead? I'm not buying it. Because we know that these tombstones we've seen tombstones before. Also, you see a lot of evidence of them putting judges out in the 800s. Like, did they just add 1,000 years to the time? Was after the reset, was where they just said, hey, okay, we're just going to add 1,000 years to the 1800s. It was 800s, and we're just going to call it the 1800s and restart everything from there. What's going on? I mean, one could argue there's a lot of fuckery going on here, Phil. And I think the more stones that we uncover, and the deeper this rabbit hole is actually getting there. So what I'm saying is, in North America, and when I made a post on Facebook yesterday about there was a problem with these gravestones and finding anything in the 1600s, I had like 10 people reach out to me and tell me all over, a lot of them from the UK, saying they're having the same problem too, that they can't find the evidence of these burial grounds and these graveyards, these tombstones are dating only in the 1800s, some the late 1700s, but there's a problem. So here's what I'm thinking, Philip. I'm using Occam's razor, and after doing that, and after doing my due diligence, I'm thinking everything's under mud, man. Because when you look into it, they had to excavate a lot of these burial grounds because they didn't even know they were going in. They didn't even know they were going in deep, and they were finding these burial grounds. So everything's under mud. Everything's under mud. This hidden empire under mud. I mean, what else is under mud, Philip?
Yeah, we have the burial mounds, which are also under mud, and I've been showing it a couple of times in my videos. So
Well,
I finally started to screen share.
Yeah, people say they built with the burial mounds. Yeah, well, yeah. Yeah, I'm talking about these. I'm talking about the way that these advanced civilizations, they were burying their they had to be and there's they had to be taking care of their dead and burying their dead. So, what's going on? What the hell is going on here?
Let me show you some from my channel. If I have this. Pum, pum, pum.
Shout out to everybody in the chat room too.
Oh, for example, this one.
Shout out to everybody.
It's like so. This is like winter, so that's why you cannot like understand the size, but
Right. With snow on top of the mountain. You know what we're saying?
yeah.
Huh.
So we also have like funeral, or not the funeral, but monasteries. Also with this lack of graveyards before the 1800s.
Okay.
For example, this one is graveyard. I was filming it near the monastery.
Oh, nice.
But of course, it's also under the snow, so it's pretty old. And we have. I wanted to go to a place nearby my house. It's like 50 miles. Look at how small are those uh, coffers or whatever. How do you call it?
Gravestones. You mean those tombstones?
Yeah, but these are actually the
Coffins.
coffins. Yes,
Coffins. Yeah. Okay.
I think they're made of concrete or something. So it's like cement.
Concrete.
Yeah.
Okay, I've seen that. I've seen that. I mean,
And they are really small. So a bunch of kids probably died there at that time because all these like very little. Look at this.
Small.
Very small. So a bunch of kids died at that
And you
time.
said this is in Russia, right?
It's close to where I live.
Okay. So let me ask you a question. Did you get any dates on any of these?
Yeah, it's like 1800s, all 1800s.
All 1800s. Why?
Yeah.
It all started. Like, what's going on here? Like, I had to pinch myself again. It was one of those, let me pinch myself and make sure I'm really here moments. Why are all these gravestones and these
So as you can see, it looks like concrete, and it was like pressed in the wet concrete, and all those letters look like they were pressed. Do you understand what I mean?
Yes, you're talking about chiseled out. Yeah, I mean chiseled out. Or are you talking about heated pressed, or or
No,
chiseled?
no, pressed with some form. So it's like a shape of a letter, and you press it, and you
draw it out. Yeah.
Yeah, because the concrete is not yet
dry.
Dry and solid. So you can press and you can get the writing you want to write. So
right, that makes sense.
Also, this place is interesting because it has a stone of whatever you call it, whales. So I call it whales, but they call it Wallace. Wallace is also sounds like Wallace, so it's like look at it. It looks like a growing stone somebody was picturing not that long ago.
Right.
So it's like they call it like a lucky stone. You go there and sit on it and you get some luck. So that's why people still visit it, and somebody brings some fruits and some coins or whatever. So it's like a worship stone.
Oh.
And it's right near this Tsar's palace. So I think he was establishing his mansion nearby because it's ancient worship stone of Wales. So Wales was a huge god in Russia. So it's like one of the three major gods, like Swarak, Perun, and Wales.
Okay.
That's why I think that there is a connection in Wales and Ireland and Russia. Something is connected, just like we have a connection with Scandinavian mythology and Greek mythology. So it's like very interesting. And this church also very interesting. Looks like a rocket or missile or whatever.
Yeah. Type of obelisk.
So the problem is also very actual because we have the same problem, and people have
Wow.
been shown plenty of evidence of that.
Yeah, man. That's
I
something.
mean the gravestones. I mean the gravestones. So it's
Yeah,
like
it's mind blowing, man.
the old gravestones are all they looking like fake concrete
Yeah. A lot of
blocks.
going on. Right.
So it doesn't even fit in the concept. So either they didn't have a concrete or they had a concrete and then they were more advanced than they tell us. So if they,
Mm,
because it's
right.
just
Right. And we know they were using concrete. We know they were using rebar inside of concrete.
I mean you prepare a shape, a huge shape for stone. It's very expensive, of course, to
right,
do it, to polish it, to make it perfect, right? So be a
right,
tombstone, and then you fuck up with the writing or
right,
something because you do it manually and you don't do it like I'm saying, like
right,
pressing in a wet concrete. You're doing it
right,
like in stabbing it and stuff like this.
right,
So it doesn't make sense. So you fuck up with this writing and so you throw away the stone.
right.
What the hell you do? So
Yeah,
what they did,
exactly,
they
exactly.
they were pressing it and just doing it
Yeah.
the way.
You know what,
Like,
Philip? That makes much more sense too. I didn't even think about that until you made that statement that they were just they were using these concrete. They're making these stone heads out of concrete, and then just pressing them into the wet concrete and then just let it dry. And there you go.
yeah,
You got your headstone.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely.
They let it dry and when
Yep.
it got wet and dry enough, but it's not dry uh,
Mm,
completely. They do it, so it's like
right. And you know what, Philip? We need a lot more people from wherever you at, wherever you live at across this flat plain. Go to your graveyards, man, or look at the evidence and see if you see any evidence of tombstones or grave burials um, before the 1800s. Or
we
1600s. Come on, man. We know that suppose that time era happened, but where's the evidence of that?
yeah. I mean, we have a bunch of red brick buildings worldwide, so and it's
Mm,
so they look like pretty much the same type of quality of job and all this. And we have those buried windows underground in so-called basement floors. We see the traces of the previous windows.
yeah, look at the window right there. Yeah, look at that.
Right now it's masked with this letter, but
See that,
well,
Phil? Yep. See that, guys? Everybody watching? That's the Tartarian brick that we're talking about right there. Old windows. Look at that. That's the mud flood evidence.
yeah,
They
and the
just
people just send me, why don't you do excavations? How can you do excavations in Moscow? It's very expensive city, first of all, and you
right,
have to make all those papers like archaeological. Somebody have to sign from
right.
archaeological, you
A
know.
lot of red tape. We call it
Yes,
red tape out here. Right, exactly.
yeah. So it's impossible because people just will not let you do it.
Yeah. And these bricks are made to last forever, man. I mean, it's just amazing.
Yeah, you can if some brick is cracking or something, you just can replace it. So it's not it's very easy
I
because
wonder if these masons
it's
knew.
so thick, so you can replace the outside layer very easy.
Right.
And I wanted to show my Instagram. People subscribe, so we have a bunch of discussions here. People, new people coming. For example, this giant with smartwatch or whatever you call it. I think it's an anchor watch. So it's like an
Yeah,
anchor
they can watch.
in
Yes,
our
they can watch. Right.
space and dimension. So
Yeah,
this
man.
is the
A lot of weird shit going on in Anchor Watts, man. They're using wireless technologies
yeah,
to
so they
communicate.
so
Yeah,
they can
crazy.
position themselves and
Yeah, man.
immediately disappear if they press the button. So and the people say like, how do you say it's
Oh,
a watch,
shit.
not a bracelet? Look at the shape. Shape is perfect for a watch, and it has
Oh,
like
whoa.
so
Look
it's
at
like
that.
and the line is so
Right,
so
that's a
small.
giant too, man. That's
It's
a
a giant.
lion,
It's a
man.
giant. Of course,
That's a
it's a giant.
giant, right? Wake your ass up. That's a goddamn giant, man. Okay, because that's a lion. And I've seen other pictures like that where the giant they hold lions like they just domestic cats and shit. Mind
Yeah.
blowing.
We have a bunch of those buildings, as the people say, in Washington. So look
Mm.
around if you're in Washington, picture
Oh,
some of those.
DC, absolutely. Yeah, that whole Maryland, Baltimore area.
This
No,
is
it's
in
all
London, also very nice one from London.
yeah, absolutely.
And of course, this is turbine technology. When I first found out that it was like late 1700s, I was
Right,
pretty impressed. Then I found out that it was in 1600s. The first turbine was designed in 1600s, but it never went in production because it was like one invention test device. So
right.
this one is in the mid of 1800s. So it's like beginning of 19th century, in fact. So it's like turbine technology that we still use today. But the problem is, this is the guy that actually patented it in late 1700s. So
Right.
it's like the end of the 18th century, right? So
Okay.
this is the modern one. So it looks completely the same turbine technology that we have today, and this is the turbine style
Yeah.
set, and it looks pretty much the same because I mean the technology of turbine is pretty much the same as it looks
Oh
on this
wow.
head.
And that's what you know. What that looks like an airplane engine too, man. It
Yes,
looks
I
like
mean
an
those
airplane.
people from ancient times knew how turbine looks, and they even called it turban, not to forget the name.
Right.
So I
Look at
mean
that. It looks straight up
this
Tartarian, dude.
This is really interesting because we have like these cargo cult heads that showing us that they totally had this technology and all those vimanas and stuff like this that they show us in ancient hieroglyphs and pictures from India and Egypt. So they probably real. They probably had all the same engines we have today.
Amazing.
So this is also a very funny one. People say that they promoting the reset fashion, like this is post-apocalyptic fashion, right? And
Zombies.
people are buying it, so
Yeah,
they
no.
learn. I never understood this style, but
Me either. Rip
and
your own.
also electric cars and all this stuff. This
Yes.
also from the 19th century. Don't even
Right. And
think
Philip, for the people, and keep it on that folder right there. Yeah. For the people that don't know this, they had electric before they had gas, man. They had electric before they was using these so-called fossil fuels, man. It's all lies, man. It's all bullshit.
Yeah, they even have the wood burning engines, guys. Wood burning engines.
Right.
So it's like burn some wood, wood, whatever, wood
Right.
packages. So it's like very,
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
impressive technologies, and
Yeah. Look at that, a
probably
scooter.
100 years ago we had a
Yeah.
scooter.
Right. And they just erase this. They don't show this in school. It's just something you got to find out. Something that you maybe see in a magazine one day. It's like, right.
Look at this dude. He's pretty much disappointed with what the hell he saw at this construction site. This was really a restored site or whatever,
Oh
or
yeah.
maybe even falsified with some.
Oh yeah. You're talking about the. Yeah, I did a Stonehenge. Yeah, I did a video on Stonehenge. And it went viral on Facebook. Yeah, I had actually the video proof for them faking it and putting this
Yeah.
together. Yeah.
So we might as well make another one with you some for sometimes because I wanna roll over some fake sites. Like in Greece, we have a bunch of fake sites which were multiplied to attract tourists to different cities and towns because
Oh,
most of them.
absolutely. And you know what, Philip? After you finish screen sharing, I can show you that video. It's like a 3 minute video I did. It showed you a video of them
Yeah, you
actually.
can you can show it, of
All right,
course.
here, give me a second. Let me.
I'll take a little break for some.
Yeah, not a problem. I'll show it to you. Okay. So here we go. Remember, we accept the world in which it's presented to us. We live in an evil, satanic world, folks. I keep trying to tell you that our reality is rigged. Right here, I'm going to show you the proof on how they did it, on how they faked Stonehenge. They faked everything, folks. We don't live on a spinning ball hurling through space at ridiculous speeds, traveling around the sun. They faked everything. Everything is staged. Here's your proof. just a Freemason show. That's all. So that's what's actually going on. Just a Freemason show, and
Looks like it.
yeah, exactly. And it just shows you that all of our history is staged. It's all contrived. It's all bullshit. And you're gonna wake up one day and realize this, and and it's okay. It's not your fault. We all been lied to on a level that's incomprehensible, and and people just now finding this stuff out. The rabbit hole gets deep, folks. I mean, it's scary. A lot of information is coming out, and a lot of things are going on. But this is what I'm thinking, Philip. I'm thinking that we have to pay closer attention to these signs of another reset. Think about it. They're not building bridges no older than 20 years old. You had all these VP and CEOs step down from all these companies. Okay. You got 5G set up all over the place. They got a grid of 5G. They're trying to set up all over the world. So after they do this reset and there's any survivors of this mud flood, they're able to boil you like a frog, and cook you and zap you like a bug. And that's what I'm thinking. That's what's going on. And something's much more sinister is happening. It is what it is, man.
I think they have explosives set up for all these major water reserves. So, and everything is set up to all those reserves of dams would be exploded. And look what we had in California maybe last year when the dam was broken. Look what we have in Brazil when the dam is broken. We have a mud floods.
Yes, and it's crazy. They could put aircraft carriers underground, man. They could put helicopters and Harrier jets. They're underground now. Underground, man. They're underground now, man. And they got these dumbs. It's mind blowing.
I mean, what they had. So, have you heard about this story about the frequency and the Putin? Like Putin was scared of Obama and was like sitting and waiting a year in underground bunker or something like this, and his doublers or whatever you call them, so-called twins or similar looking persons were playing his role for a year, and he was like sitting in a bunker afraid of nuclear war and all this stuff. Yeah, and then he figured out that nothing can help him. Nothing can help him because some strange frequencies started to be measured all over the world. It's called the Schumann waves or whatever. They even have the website or something like this when people talking about it. So I tried to get deeper, but I'm not as much good in physics and all those wavelengths and all this stuff. So I have to believe in at least what they say because some of them seem to be professional in what they say. And they say these wavelengths are changing. And this is probably what they were measuring in their underground facilities because things started to get out of control, as they say. And they say it's very uncomfortable to sit there because this wavelength is increasing, and people who are sitting there, it's like elevator. You cannot hear it, but it has some noise, very strange noise that gets in your spine and affects all your blood pressure and all this stuff, and you have tachycardia, increasing heart rate in the elevator just because of these wavelengths that
frequencies, man.
Frequencies.
And they know this.
And this is what they felt underground. They felt it like this, and they were wow. And they went up because it's very hard to sit down there. So all those underground facilities are still not in use. This is what how they explain this stuff, because they are still not there and they are still not starting all this Armageddon stuff. So
So
because
this makes me think, Philip. This makes me think, man. Excuse me. It's two things. They either know, these controllers know about a cycle that happens every 200-300 years, 400 years, and they're not telling us, or it's something that they're creating. And both are plausible, because we know they have anybody who control the weather, control the world. We know that the ancients were using technology back then to manipulate the weather, um, and to manipulate the earth. So you're right. It is about frequencies and different vibrations, but that's what's going on. That's what I'm thinking. And that is some type of cycle that's going on. Or
I mean, they thought they had control, and that's why they built all these underground facilities, because
mm,
they wanted to start to reset. That's what explains them pressing all this button and like
mm,
saying, "Okay, let's do it." And like each and every one went to their bunkers and sit there for a year, and like
right, and come out.
and then said, "Whoa, this is not very good because we don't feel very good here. It's like sucks to sit here, so it's like crazy." And people start to get crazy there, as what they say.
Mm,
Because I had those rumors here going around that for the guys that been in one bunker in St. Petersburg, very deep one, because they have groundwaters there, so it's like 150 meters deep. So it's
shit.
like very deep. It's like twice deep as the metro station there.
Mm,
So it's like and they say it's very huge one. Even they have like a train that's going from St. Petersburg to Ural Mountains. So it's like maybe 2,500 miles length. Very
right.
very long range train. And so
It
they
could be. It could be have these pressurized cabins too, man. That's
yeah.
probably why. They got these pressurized cabins down there because they know about this. And I mean, it would make sense for them to have pressurized cabins.
Have you heard about the electromagnetic weapons of so-called EMP?
Yes,
Like shut down all electricity and all
all
this.
electronics, right?
Yeah, so it's like it's not a fake story. So it's like these wavelengths also create disturbance in electrical devices. That's why they
Mm,
don't like to sit there. So
mm,
they got prepared, but they got screwed up in this, and they are thinking about some type of coverage defense from. So they like trying to avoid this wavelength, but this is not really good. So people feel themselves very bad underground right now. That's why they are getting up and they're trying to continue this stuff. They're trying to continue and started the new bridge game again. So they started
mm.
it in 12 or 2013. So that's why
Interesting.
we have Syria. That's why we have all those Arab revolutions. That's why we have all those migration to Europe played out. With that's why we have Ukraine starting up in this period of time. So it's like all the same.
Oh,
Raising of
wow.
raising of nationals is played like a game. So it's like let me just switch back to the house topic and like you imagine yourself in a house. It's a
Okay.
house of you don't know who is house. So you live in it for 10 years, 20 years, 30
Mm,
years. You know everything is in this house, but you
right.
don't know whose house was that. But you live in it for 30 years.
Right.
And then something started becoming weird. So you like feel something's wrong. Something is moving, objects are disappearing.
Right.
You're going crazy because what the hell is going on? I mean, you don't feel nothing wrong. You don't seem anything seems usual, except but things are just starting to move. You maybe water started to disappear, electricity started blinking,
Right.
so something's weird. So and you figure you're supposed to do something, maybe move to another house, but you don't
Right.
have another house. You don't have money.
Right.
You wasted all your life in this junk house that doesn't belong to you. You should have already bought your own house, but you didn't
Right.
because you didn't spend any money on it, and you got used to this house because it
Wow.
doesn't cost you nothing. You didn't pay any mortgages, stuff like this. That's what they're figuring right now. They
Right.
used us for so many years. They didn't pay a, a single penny for this, and now they start to figure out that everything is wrong. So it's like not
Yeah.
working anymore. It's not working anymore, and they cannot do any reset anymore because it's impossible to stay on the ground. So it's like
Spells.
what the hell is going on? People started to figure
Mm.
out flat Earth. People started to figure out mudflow. People started to
Yeah. All the
about
fake
Tartarian.
people.
It's like a tsunami, you know. So and somebody released this information before the reset, so it would heat up and boil as some conspiracy theories. But they fucked up with these underground facilities, and they cannot do reset anymore. So that's why we have a window of opportunity before they figure out what to do and how to do it one more time.
Yeah.
Okay,
That makes
that's
that
why
makes
this
sense.
stuff started to roll over again. So it's like their last chance was to send us to the moon or to send us to the Mars, something like this, and
Right.
spend some amount of money for 30 years or
Right.
40 years.
They
Uh,
scare
bullshit.
you with asteroids and shit, and then if you believe in aliens and shit, they got something. They got something coming for you. They got something. They got something cooking up for anyone who believe in aliens, man. They got something coming down the pipeline for your ass. So,
Yeah, it's dark here. It's dark here, and I shut
yeah,
down because it's dark here.
yeah,
Curiosity,
yeah, yeah,
last
yeah,
message.
yeah, yeah, yeah. What's going on in the chat room, Philip? Let's see if we got any questions. Let's see what's up in the chat room. We got 73 people watching. Shout out to the chat room. What's going on?
We only got 28 people watching because and two people
Oh,
are
okay.
not and two people are not watching because they put dislikes.
Whatever. Even if it's 5 people, it's all good, man. It's all good, you know. It's a weird time in the day too. People trying to go home, people chilling. So let's see what
Yes.
kind of questions we got. Anybody got any questions while we on
No
Flat
beginning.
Plain, Oregon? What's going on, bro?
Yes, it's infinite, no beginning or ending. Roxy Rain. Well, that's what we call a time lapse or maybe time loop, right? So it's
Mm,
like a Möbius. Uh, it symbolized the eight number. So it's like infinite and endless. And this is the luckiest number in China. So it's like they like it very much because that's why they did Olympic Games symbolizing this number in 2008 in the 8th of August. That's when the provocation started with this war of 08, 08, 08, triple eight war, so-called triple eight war. So very interesting, and they like the eight and they like the infinite and like telling us bullshit that it's infinite. Nothing is infinite. We can change it.
Hey, let me ask you a question. But if they know you think you live on or in that religion, if they know you think you live on a spinning ball in outer space, excuse me, a spinning tilted ball of water in outer space, they'll tell you fucking anything, man. And that was really that got me interested into history and research and all this and discovering all this history fraud is because once I woken up to the flat Earth, Philip, man, I was like, if they that's the mother of all lies. You lie about the shape or about what this place is. What else are you lying about? What the fuck else are you lying about? So if they didn't lie to us on a level like that, and because there's no evidence of a
I want
globular Earth.
I want to ask you one question. Have you met any astronomer and have anyone challenged any astronomer on his
Oh yeah,
territory?
oh yeah, it's ridiculous. They can't even defend the fucking globe.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. They can't even defend it. They can't even defend the globe. And that's why I made that post. They can't defend the globe because the globe doesn't exist, man. It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist, man. The biggest problem, biggest red flag is zero curvature. They can't have it both ways. They can't say we live on a ball and there's no curvature to be measured. You know, it's a done deal, man. You know, wake your ass up. If you're still on the fence and you're still not understanding what's going on, wake up, man. It's not a ball. You can't find out one real photo of outer space. You can't find one real photo of Earth. You know, and people so damn dumb. You go on NASA's website, they even admit to using all these CGI renderings and these CGI images, and people believe this shit, man.
How do you call this? Indoctrination? Or
Yes. How do you reason with someone that thinks they live on a spinning ball in outer space, man?
yeah, this is indoctrination, people.
Yeah,
What they're doing is they
man.
brainwashing us in schools.
Fuck
They
yeah.
teach the astronomy as the least important subject, so we
Right.
can like,
Yes.
this is crap. Don't.
Right. Stupid. Right.
Yeah,
Right.
astronomy.
Give us stupid explanations. Right. Exactly.
We want Mars. We want Venus. Hey,
Right.
hey, hey.
And it's complicated maths so that we don't look into it and shit. And that's how
Yeah.
they got us. We figured someone smarter than us figured it out, and we
Yeah.
just fucking took their word on it.
Nobody wants to study the stuff you cannot watch. You cannot like really observe. So you cannot
Right.
observe all this stuff. So you have to like do some smart adjustments,
Yes.
some
Get some
math and all this
equation.
stuff.
Oh,
to
bullshit.
head is
Oh,
like
bullshit.
spinning. So most of the
Right.
people just don't get this stuff because they're
Right.
already brainwashed. And those who figure out, I don't know what the fuck are they doing really. I don't
Hey,
know what the
Philip.
hell they're doing. Those
Yo,
all those
Philip, come to find out what goes up must come down. They would have these assholes would have us believe that metal is just suspended in fucking space. It's just suspended in space. It's just, I mean, everything, man. Light years, gravity, black holes, space time, space travel, deep space. You fucking name it, man. It's all bullshit.
How many space junk is flying around? How many space junk in the sky? We should be like bombarded each and every day with all the space junk.
Right. And look how stupid people are. Look. So you got look, you got the Russians and American on the ISS, right? And then you got some bullshit political warfare going on saying, the Russians, the Russians are colluding with the Americans or it's fucking nonsense. It's all bullshit, man. It's the theater.
Yeah, and when you try to actually get in the topic and figure out what actually was the collusion. The collusion was publishing and hacking a democratic server, which showed how Hillary Clinton fucked up everybody, and this is the collusion.
Hey, I'm colluding with the Russians, man. Fuck you, man. These motherfuckers are stupid, man. It's just dumb, man. And that's what made me become an activist, man.
You know, the reason number one, they thought it was Russian because it had Russian IPs.
Yeah. It's and they're sitting there laughing at us too, man. A bunch of fucking jerk-offs, man.
Like I can do IP from America, and this doesn't mean I'm American spy or hacker or something.
Right.
It's like VPN, virtual private networks, and you can manage to find any IP from any worldwide. So I don't know. And the second reason they thought it was Russians because like Putin didn't like Hillary.
It's all. I mean, it's mind-boggling, man. And people just are so dumbed down. It's like, how can you even reason? And you know what? I'm convinced, Philip, everybody's not meant to be woken up. I mean, some people can't see this shit at all. I was talking to I was at work, and you go, "Oh, Mudflood's just stupid. You're an idiot." You know, I just walked away because how can you reason with someone like that? You know what I mean? And it's just mind blowing. But hey, they did a number on us, Philip. They did a fucking number on us, man. They beat the divinity out of us. They pushed the heavens further back than where it actually is. They got us thinking that we came from monkeys and we live on a spinning ball of water in outer space. I mean, bravo.
Yeah,
Bravo
Lone
fucking
Eagle
hell.
made a video on New York, and we should make a video on this, formations of, artificial size, huge size, artificial
Yeah.
uh, embankments, and all this, stones laying around from the ruins of previous era.
Yeah.
So it's like very interesting because all those islands and all this Bay Area in New York
I
looks
know
like
you actually did a video about that, didn't you?
yeah, I started to think about it that
Yes.
time, but no,
Yes.
I have to have more, pictures from the
Yes.
from the field, whatever you call it.
Yeah, that actually thought, because when I saw that video you made, I was thinking about Coney Island, and I'm like, I grew up in Coney Island. You know what I mean? I grew up in Coney Island. I grew up in Brighton Beach. Russians already there. It makes sense, Tartarians, Russians, they're already there and shit. You know what I mean? Russians, hardcore. My first girlfriend was Russian. You know what I mean? I grew up in Brooklyn. I'm from Brooklyn. You know what I mean? And that's just the way it is. I tell people, I was like, I got more Russian friends than you do. You know what I mean? Like, shit. I grew up in Brooklyn. What the fuck, man? So, and when you showed those structures, I was like, well, yeah, that structure's concrete from a different civilization. And if you're talking about concrete, and we were told that that we came out of mud huts, and we lived in caves and shit. And the only thing that we built, that was anything, was just temples. It's all nonsense, man.
Yeah, I mean, we have to have some type of instrument to search some books of Congress library. I don't know.
Right.
Maybe some notifications of first structures in New York, maybe some paintings and drawings. I want to see them and compare to what we see right now, because maybe this is what can help us, like those water towers in Chicago also look very strange.
Yeah. Well, in the summertime when it gets warming up, I'm going to do a video. I'm going to go into New York City and do I'm going to go on Fifth Avenue. There's a lot of mud flood evidence on Fifth Avenue, New York. And a lot of evidence that they've been covering it up.
People also walked around close to in the Central Park. They found all those huge rocks, which may be the rocks from the previous buildings.
Yeah. So I'm going to screen share right now. I made a post on Facebook today, and I had let's show everybody some of these. I'm going to show somebody some of these. Let me see. Where is that? Sorry, let me get this going on here. Alrighty. So here we go. Check this out. So here we go. We got some more mud flood evidence of how they just refitted these buildings, and here we go. So classic. I mean, Philip, you can't get no more classic mud flood evidence than this. So let's talk about this photo right here.
Yep.
For all you new mud flooders and new people looking into this, real simple, and very not hard. You know that the mud flood came from this direction here.
Look at the lamp first. Look at the lamp. It's a gas lamp. Remember, we were talking about the lamps?
Right. But how do you know it's a gas lamp, though?
Okay. This is a gas lamp.
Okay. Well, I'm not saying that you're wrong. I just wanted to, for the people out there that's listening, how do you know that this is a gas lamp? Because you don't see no light bulb in there, and you see.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. You see that? So you know that if it was electric, you would see a light bulb in there, and gas is maybe that's some wire. You see the wooden floorboards that they put on top of the mud. Okay, This is a build. This is a window. All right, that's at ground level. That's because it's sub-level floors on the bottom. This is all. This building is encased in mud. Okay.
Yeah.
And what they did was just refitted these buildings. So maybe the third floor became the first floor, second floor, and maybe there's 2-3 levels below this underground. And this is in San Francisco, Chinese. And we know Chinese were Tartarians, and we know people that look Chinese were Tartarians. San Francisco, I've been there before plenty of times. I mean, there's lots of Chinese people there, lots of Japanese people there, a lot of Asian people there. They got Asian neighborhoods, and they're there, and they always been there. It makes sense. This is also part of the Tartarian Empire on the West Coast. So here you go, more evidence, okay, of these sub-level windows. Right.
Yeah, ugly entrance door. Stairs don't fit in this construction.
Right, exactly. You can see how like that it just came down, and the mud came from this direction, and then you go low. It just goes lower and lower. So and it just goes.
The entrance made to the second floor.
Right,
So
and
like,
it
the
right
first floor was probably buried, and they
exactly right exactly.
some kind of balcony or something.
Yes, exactly, and that's what they did, and that's what they've been doing. There's just more, just Chinese mission's house. Okay, so. And we know with photography, so they say photography was invented sometime supposedly in the 1830s, I think 1833 to be exact. So this has to be either 1833 or the 1830s.
I don't think you're right on the year of this picture. It's probably 60.
Well, yeah, I don't know either. I don't know the actual year. And what'd you say is probably what?
Looks like 60s, something like this. So
you talking about the 1600s?
No. 1860s.
Oh, 1860s. Okay. Yeah, I mean that's plausible. We're all the goddamn people. Okay. I see these people right here. I mean, we're talking about San Francisco. This is the West Coast. I mean, that's got to be like there's no people over here. I mean, just weird. You got some people in the windows here. A few people there. You look like a little horse buggy there. So.
I mean, it's not a stage photography here, so it's like they were not moving for 30 seconds, as what they say, because they said that they had a long exposure. So people were supposed to stand still for 30 seconds or even more, and that's how you don't have any blur or whatever. And they are very very good, and you can recognize even some signs of their faces. And so
right. This shady character right here. Look at this shady character over here. He just standing there.
And so it's a stage photography. So they were doing this on purpose.
It makes sense, Philip. And you said it's overwhelming evidence of these mud flood in San Francisco. And this is the Tartarian brick. Okay, this is the Tartarian style construction.
I mean, you have like how many people at this picture at the second? Let's calculate.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, maybe 2 people up there. Well, I see about 3 people in there.
It's like very. It's like 10 people, right? 10 people on one picture on one facade of the house, and not a single one on the whole street. Not a single.
You know what? You're right. That makes sense. You know, or these could be the survivors of this cataclysm that actually survived. That their ancestors. I mean, they're the remnants of this cataclysm. I mean, this is just. I mean, look at the boards here, man.
Why can't it just be brought there? So like they were brought there. So they don't look like they built this house, right?
Right, exactly, and that's my point.
They built this house. This is not their culture. They look totally Chinese. They don't look accommodated and naturalized with the culture. They
Right.
look totally Chinese. And if they were building in San Francisco, look at the houses they are building in San Francisco and Chinatown. They look totally Chinese. And this is a European type of house. So this is probably they were renting it, or they were brought there in an empty house to accommodate for a couple of years maybe before they established their Chinatown. So this is like a temporary house for them. They were brought there.
Yeah, that you know what? That's crazy. It's mind blowing. I'm thinking you. I'm thinking you're onto something, man. And this is all over the world. We see this kind of nonsense where we see these ancient architecture and these empty streets, these abandoned streets, in these big neighborhoods. I mean, with all these people. I mean, you know how many people must have died at one time, right? Or been displaced, but I'm thinking died because where are all the damn people at? Because with you, if even if they were displaced after when everything's settled, they're gonna be coming back and trying to reclaim their shit, right? But look, man, it's I'm
And I mean, we have this Russian situation, right? Also, San Francisco. San Francisco was a Russian town. We have like a Fort Ross close there in California, and they had all the way down San Francisco all those trading routes. So San Francisco was a Russian trading outpost, and after Russia gave up Alaska, Russia immediately went out San Francisco and the rest California towns
wow,
immediately. So like traders left, and some maybe civil
right,
persons left. So like who were like really merchants and stuff like this.
right.
But most of them left. So like military left, all those sailors left, and all this stuff. So we have all this situation, and then immediately what we see is reestablishment of San Francisco. So it's like all those buried ships from suddenly somewhere, and all those ships are buried, and on those ships they build new houses. Like this is
Mm.
really stupid. So I don't know, doesn't explain anything to me. This strange earthquake in San Francisco also would be artificial, right?
Yo, let me ask you a question. What do you think about this flat plane realm that we live on? Just a flat Earth on top of water. What are you thinking?
No, I'm thinking the middle between the underground and the whatever is above us. I mean the air sphere, right? Like what we observe above us. So it's like air. It's
Okay.
less dense. It's less dense than the soil. Soil is more dense, right? And
Well,
something below it is more dense than soil. So soil is like an absorbent or a
right.
sponge between the air and the most solid part. So it's the
Let me
solid
let me show
part.
you. Let me show you something, Philip, so you actually understand what I'm talking about. I don't think you understand what I'm talking about.
The solid part they call it a continent in geology. So it's like
Okay.
when they dig something or establish a foundation of a house, they dig uh, till they reach the continent, is what they say, the continent. And when they reach the continent, they stick like those stuff. How do you call it? Uh, you know, foundation sticks.
Right.
They establish the basement above it. So it's like
Mm.
huge apartment buildings are built this way, and both in Russia and I think in US. So they reach the continent and then they establish the house. So if they don't reach the continent, they dig until they reach the continent. So otherwise, you cannot build a skyscraper or any tall building. So I think the earth and the soil is something between the continent, is what they call it, something very solid, and it's not moving at all. And the soil is like a sponge, which is less dense than a continent, but is more dense than the air, which is above us. I think this is the structure of what we have.
That's interesting you say that. Let me show you this post I posted, and let's have a look at this. I guess this is the Department of California. They put this out. The King Basin area. And when you talk about earthquakes, and we're talking about vibrations, and we're talking about what this place actually is, we know it's special. But what actually is it? You know, they say it's 70% water. 70% water is a lot. Is a big number. So one could argue that it is a flat surface on flat water. Who knows? I'm not saying that's the case, but it would make sense with the earthquakes if these things are going back. Because I don't buy into the titanium plates anymore, man. The tectonic plates. I don't buy into that shit anymore. Once I found out that the globe and the whole core to Earth nonsense, that's all bullshit. So the titanic plates, that's all bullshit, man. That goes out the water, man. So if you have some type of vibration because of a disturbance, that can cause an earthquake. Now, how that's happening, I don't know. Is it the mining that they're doing underground? The underground boring and tunneling, the fracking? Who knows, man? But it's happening. In some places, you can feel it worse than others. So it would make sense if you throw the tectonic plates out the window and this is a flat surface on water. So, like, if to go back to the picture that I showed before with the flat Earth,
I mean, there's a big question with the bottom of the sea, right?
Right.
We have the, like what they say, the deepest point is like 11 kilometers deep, like Marianic deep hole, sinkhole, whatever you call it. And the biggest hole that they built, they dug on the surface is like cola drill.
Okay.
20 kilometers is less, like 70 kilometers or whatever. So it's not like even 1% of the crust. That's what they call it, the crust, which is above the bowl-shaped Earth that they imagine and teach us in the school. So the crust is so thick, and it's not even 1% of the crust that we yet researched.
Okay.
So it's like, and we also didn't raise as high as, let's say, we went to the outer space, as what they call it, in the ISS. It's not even like very far away from the ball. So it's like we are not in space. We are still in the atmosphere. We can call it atmosphere because it's insignificant distance. We cannot call it outer space in the scale of the universe that they try to teach us, right? And
Right.
even going to the moon doesn't bring us anywhere. So it's like, if they tell us that the first possible inhabited planet is located somewhere in like 300,000 billion years, light years, it's like light years is like an imaginary number. So it's like you'll never reach it. So what is the
Right.
use
So bullshit.
of your space research if you won't bring us anywhere in nowhere, and nobody will ever go anywhere that he can prove that you can live somewhere except Earth, right?
Mm,
So it's useless science, and
yeah.
it's like they're like explaining themselves to us and telling us we're lying, guys.
Yeah.
Understand, we're lying.
Yeah.
But we cannot do stuff because we won't get paid unless we lie.
Right. And all these astrophysicists that's making all these physicists that's making $250,000 a year, they got 4 or 5 kids through college, and they come find out about the flat Earth, they gonna shut the fuck up. That's why. Think about it. If flat Earth was bullshit, you would have been had all these corporations and all these smart ass people shut flat Earth down in a heartbeat. But the reason why you don't see none of that, and all you see these fucking bullshit trolls, is because they can't defend they don't have no arguments, and their arguments are not valid, and it's obvious that they've been covering up something, and it's obvious that we don't live on a globular Earth. You know, it doesn't matter. People who tell you that they seen the curve is drinking water with fluoride in it.
I'll tell you what their arguments are. First argument is the ISS magic finger that
yeah.
the whole.
Right.
Says the second argument is the posters all over Moscow where they say the Earth is flat. Question: Go to our geographical test, and we'll tell you the real shape of the Earth. So, like, the Earth is flat. Question: Come to us, and we'll tell you the real shape.
Tell you right, exactly. We'll tell you what's going on, right? Oh, okay.
Like, even each and every journalist and tried to mock. Like, I even heard of President Obama mention Flat Earth Society in this.
Yes, you know why he did that, right? So that the reason why he just mentioned that out of nowhere is because Flat Earth Society is controlled opposition. So what the Flat Earth Society does is, especially for people just waking up to the Flat Earth, they're thinking they hear Flat Earth Society. Well, let me go see what they're about. Well, Flat Earth Society is all bullshit. What they do is they give you half truths. They may say, oh, yeah, it's flat, and they may show you like a disc in space. Anybody show you a disc in space, it's all bullshit, okay? Because we know, real flat earthers know that outer space is complete bullshit. There's no outer space, all right? It's complete nonsense, all right? And yes, there's space before you hit the barrier. There's some type of barrier. Come on, man. We're atmosphere, we're in a pressurized, self-contained,
somebody
world, man. We're a big ass snow globe, man. Prove me wrong. Right.
Somebody calls this dome, even they call it the Van Allen belt.
Right.
Van Allen belt.
Van Allen belt. Yeah. It's all about right, Van Allen belt. They had to because they know, right.
You cannot pass the Van Allen belt because you will all this radiation will attack you and you cannot survive. But how can you pass it then? How can you pass it then? UNASALI.com.
Unbelievable. Well, look, Philip, how was your meeting with Mud yesterday? I didn't get a chance to watch that.
Well, we had some difficulties in screen share first, but
okay.
Then
yeah, she's lovely. I like Mud.
She did a presentation on her video about stones and the harvests, like stones appearing from nowhere on the field, and for hundreds of years we've been harvesting the same fields, and how come we still didn't clean it totally from the stones for 100 years? So either they're coming off nowhere, or they are growing or they are what we have in the kidney stones, like the earth is cleansing from these concrete fractions, or either this is the ruins of the previously destroyed civilizations, which are also going through the earth towards the surface. So it's like the purpose, or I mean not the purpose, but the function of the stone is not yet researched totally. So we've seen a bunch of stones that are growing. We've seen some stones that could move. I mean, watch the Mud Fossils University. He's researching also a bunch of stones and all those rocks, and very interesting sometimes to check his information. But I mean, he doesn't support the flat Earth. I don't know why, but I mean, his research is really
good.
Really good sometimes, and it seems to be.
Look, man, it's crazy because I know a couple people like that, man, that real smart, man, but they can't see the flat Earth, man. I don't know if they just don't want to be honest with themselves, I don't know if they just want to be honest with themselves or they just cannot connect the damn dots. They just can't see it. Is it a veil over these people's face? Is it their or I mean, what are we dealing with here, man? Why with certain people just can't see it? Why do you think they live on a ball, man?
Because we have to make simple computer graphic cartoons for them,
Right.
because they understand only cartoons. And if we prove it in some type of model that explains that they are on in their globe, imaginary world,
Right.
then they
Right.
can't possibly believe us, because all this filming with laser beams and these
Right.
Argentina fake
Right.
full research group, which is like bringing the people all together. I mean, and at the same time, they were catching the UFOs before, so it's
Yeah,
like
man.
very strange. Who are
Man.
motivated those guys who to do all these writings and all this? They made articles on each and every case, on each and every
Right.
point. They put all this data so you can go there exactly the same place, use the same
Oh yeah.
instruments to measure the same
Oh
thing, and
yeah.
wrong.
This same stupid app that you could go find the ISS in. You guys you're so stupid. You download the app and it'll tell you where the ISS is at. It's all nonsense, man. It's mind
I mean,
blowing.
I mean, and their thing about what they were launching some balloon and the camera in the Antarctic showed that there's no land there.
Wow. It's a joke, man.
Yeah.
I tell people right now, it's an insult to my damn intelligence if you say that I live on a spinning ball in outer space. It's an insult to my intelligence. You can't get me no more with that.
So
And
they call the convexa, terra convexa.
Yeah. People try to hit me with that. Oh yeah, do you want to talk about the convex Earth? Look, I don't want to talk about that because look, when I investigated the flat Earth, I came to the conclusion that there was no convexity to the surface of the Earth. Case closed. Now, if this place is hollow, I don't fucking know. So I can't be the one to say, hey, this place isn't hollow or it is hollow because I haven't been underground. I haven't been underground. So, I mean, who knows? I'm just, figuring out about these mud floods, and and it's almost been just shy of 2 years that I found out we live on a flat surface. So, it's a journey, man. It's a journey, Phil.
Yeah, you cannot. The more we know, the more we don't know. So it's like,
Yeah, that's for damn sure, man. It's for damn sure. I feel like I'm like, what's going on, man?
that's why it's so easy to picture us as some crazy, fanatic, lunatic researchers and conspiracy theorists. Because
Yes.
really, at some certain point, you ask more questions and you can give people answers. I mean, I'm more confident like 6, 7 years ago than I'm now, because I
Yeah.
thought I knew everything and I could answer each and every question. But now I don't know most of the things that surround me, because I found out so many things and I don't know what to do with it actually.
Right.
Because
Yes.
everywhere you go, you find out more, and it's like
Yes.
it's never ending story. Like the
Right.
eight, and the eight, the Tartarian Chinese favorite number.
Yes. Awesome. Also, too, is I got some good news before we wrap it up. I was talking to our friend Roxanne. Shout out to Roxanne, the globalist denier. I think maybe we're gonna maybe all three of us do connecting the dots show. Absolutely.
We've been waiting for the Starford episode.
Yes, I'm doing it as soon as I get off the phone with you. I'm going back to work on that. Go work back on to the Star Forts. But we got a lot of things coming up with this UK Globalized tour coming up, and this Flat Earth convention and Flat Earth conference. Big things coming down the pipeline. About hold off on any details and until we get all the details worked out, but it's going down. A lot of big things going on. And I can't wait to share it with everybody.
Yeah, I think there are a bunch of guys from Great Britain here and nearby areas. So if you post the exact website or whatever web page that can tell us where it is and who's like invited,
Oh yeah.
maybe people can also join you
Oh,
guys.
we're gonna do that. We're also gonna do keep all the updates on Flat Earth News and Reports. For everybody who don't know, you can follow us. I'll give you the link so you can put it in the description. Flat Earth News and Reports on Facebook. Or that's gonna be the place to be to get all the latest details, all the things that you're doing, Philip, all the things that Roxanne is doing. Hi, Roxanne. I see you in the chat room. Shout out to everybody in the chat room. Roxanne's in the chat room, Philip.
Yeah. Hello, hello.
Yes. We got to make sure we give her a wrench too. But that's it. That's all I got for right now.
Well, anyways, thanks a lot for joining.
Thank you, everybody, for joining. And join us next time, right?
Yeah. Hope we can see more videos from Richard soon because they were skyrocketing last year. We have like 2 videos with 50+ K views in first month. It's like November, and then they showed like even more. The best one is like 150,000, right?
No,
Maybe
I think that video went to
200.
it's like close to. It's just shy of. I think the last time I checked, it was like 170 something. Let's take a look at it.
I'm sure it gets even more, but
yeah, well, it's probably even more than that. So I got let's see right here, 178,000. So that's pretty cool.
Tartarian one.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And the Mudflood one has 50,000, right?
Yes, and the mud flood one, the first mud flood video I did it's at 56,000. Yeah,
So
cool.
very good for a start. So I think the YouTube will watch you now, and so we have to do more effective.
Yes. And that's what I want to do. I want to put out good stuff. I want to put out good research for people to watch.
It works like this. It gives you a certain amount of views, and then you have like this much, and you can press only this much through this hole. So the more videos you make, the less they give you, and they cut from the first video and the second one, and they decrease. So we have to have only one medicine for this, only one medicine, only one drug for this, and this drug is called the share drug. So people are supposed to share it.
Yes.
And this is the only way we can pull up.
And a lot of people shared that Tartarian Empire covered in mud. I mean, a lot of people. The shit went so fast. A lot of people re-uploaded it, changed the name, put it on their channels, everything. I'm like, people are sending me stuff. I'm like, all right, whatever.
YouTube knows. Knows that they took it from your channel.
And
it gives you more weight in tag. So it's like
It's actually pretty cool. It's all good. It's all love.
Yeah.
All good.
And they put the link in the description, so they the original video is here. So it's okay that people are not just stealing your job.
Also, too, is absolutely yes, and also that one. I'm gonna go to Roxanne's. Let's go to Roxanne's channel. I think the first one that we all did was I think that was doing actually pretty good. Let me just go and see where that's at.
It had like a slow start in the first couple of days, but
yes, it did it, and it just took off. It's at 19,000. So that was the first. Yeah, that was the first one. Yeah. So that's actually pretty cool.
Looking forward for the chat. So thanks a lot for joining us, guys. It's kind of late, so have to go to sleep.
Yes, see you later. Bye.
Bye.